4.6, this is a sweet spot size for couples. I know I said to you it might feel a little big in the beginning, but it really is very manageable for you guys as a couple. You'll see when we get aboard. The most noticeable feature of Bali Catamarans really is what we call the Bali door. So the whole back here, you press a button, it's electric, it lifts up, just got to release it.
Oh, I see.
Like I say, this door really is the proof that the boat doesn't flex, because if it was a boat that flexed, this door will never operate properly. So it's just a simple one touch, push a button. That's nice. And then you would just lock it in place. And with the forward opening door and the big forward opening window, the air flow just goes straight through the boat.
Sure.
You don't need to run your air conditioners on a warm day. You've got all this shade.
So that is a really nicely done piece.
You know, this is so much more usable space.
Gosh, it sure is.
Yeah.
From a square footage standpoint, I know it can be tough to, but is it calculated?
We have all those calculations, and actually not just calculated, but compared in what we call a benchmark.
Sure.
To other 46-foot boats.
Yeah.
And there's always much more usable square footage on the Bali. There you go. Simple as that. And you just pull this lever like that, and it just locks it in place.
Sure.
Before we go in, here's a nice cabin. If your son brings his buddies, or you have a captain on board.
Yeah.
It's got its own shower and toilet.
Oh, okay.
Ensuite, air conditioned. So it gives that person a little added level of privacy.
Okay.
That they don't have to be coming through the interior of the boat.
I see.
So if it
Perfect
is
spot for the captain
and
crew.
And
comfortable with the air conditioning running.
And these are really, genuine queen size berths. They're big, they're comfy, and you'll always have a lot of access from the sides.
Sure.
You'll see that on all the bunks in the boat. Engine rooms on the Bali, tons of space. So I don't know which one of you is going to be doing engine services, but either of you will fit quite comfortably. This boat it's got the water maker system down here. It's got a fire suppression system. And if you've been on other catamarans, there's a lot of times it's a tiny claustrophobic space. You can step down, you're allowed to step on top of the engine there, get into the engine room. You can stand upright. It's very comfortable.
That is a good bit of room.
Good. It's a diesel engine, so it's very much like a tractor.
Yeah, very efficient on the fuel.
Very, very. There's an alternator on the engine which charges the batteries.
Okay.
But it's also got a generator on board which provides power if you're running all your air conditioning and heavy draw items.
Now, is that a LP gas generator, or is it diesel?
It's also diesel.
It's also diesel.
Yeah.
Okay.
A very simple, effective way of supplying power, and you'll see we'll often have solar panels as well, which are the fact that you don't need to run your air conditioner all the time because of the airflow from the design.
That's true.
Reduces your consumption and means that a lot of the times the solar panels themselves will be enough to top up your batteries.
So if you're underway on a long
and so often you'll do a little bit of motor sailing because the wind never blows exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're firing up these engines, the alternator's kicking in and it's putting a charge into your house batteries.
Okay.
A lot of people, they get on board, they look at it and they go, "Oh, it's big," but that is actually the positive about catamarans, because you've got these two engines 20 feet apart. That you can spin this boat on a dime all day long, and you'll learn, like with a good captain, in a day, just going in and out of a dock, in and out, you'll suddenly realize that the size and what you felt was intimidating is actually the feature of the boat that makes it as great as it is. In fact, and a lot of instructors will try and make it sound very complicated so that they look very proficient. But my advice is if you can drive a shopping cart, you can drive a catamaran.
There you
Think
go.
about that. You'll see when you get your hands at the helm there. The full-size refrigerator, you can have 8, 10 guests on board. Most boats you've got a drawer that you've got to pull out.
Yes.
I've recently learned a new phrase that people call fridge Tetris. Because now you got to get everything out. You got to like
Move it
take.
left and
You
right.
want the thing that's at the bottom always. You got to, and then you got to find a way to fit it all back in. And by then your milk's crushed your eggs and your hands are frozen and all this sort of stuff. So this is
That is
absolutely
nice.
amazing. I mean, it's a big fridge. It's designed for the boat. It's not drawing excessive power in any way. You got a fridge and a
Lots of
freezer.
Yeah.
Feature Bali special features that every one of our boats have full-size refrigerator. This galley again, a lot of space, big oven, 4-burner stove.
Yeah, it's quite.
This is a fridge.
A fridge, freezer.
Almost like we have at home.
Is this an Italian vessel?
No, it's built in France.
Is Bali French?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because I noticed the stove is Italy and.
Yeah, they use very high-end appliances. As
Okay.
I think you can see, there's no expense
Yeah.
spared. We're not trying to cut corners. Like even a 4-burner stove, often you'll hop on and there's a 2 or a 3. They really do it right. It'd be the main cabin. You have a separate head to the shower, so they're not in the same
compartment. Yes.
which makes it nice. So have a look and look at that bed, the beautiful side access to it.
A lot of goods.
There's lots of storage, hanging closets, drawers. This boat is built much lighter,
Yeah.
so it's going to sail better.
Something lighter.
And then what we did is we removed all trampolines up front here. So that door, as an example, most catamarans will flex a lot, like all over. While they're sailing, you'll see the stay on the leeward side will be going slack and tight because the boat's flexing. So no other brand could actually do the door that big Bali door, because their boats flex too much and the door will end up jammed. So
No kidding.
yeah,
So that's the
yeah.
reason for.
So-
I hadn't thought of that.
So we built it out of foam cell core, strong, rigid, light,
Yeah.
and we removed the trampoline totally,
Oh,
which is what everyone's
there's no
doing.
trampoline
Yes.
up here.
First of all, trampoline's actually pretty uncomfortable. It's not great to sit on. And the water sprays through it, and then it allows flexibility. And when you want to go and make some adjustments, you're not bouncing like on a trampoline.
Right.
Yeah, this is solid. There's storage under here. There's these cushions, so you've got a great sun tanning area. You've got a table, so you'll have meals out here. So if you want to be totally outside, we said about this is the place to
No
be.
roof.
So when charter guests are on board, if they start to, everyone needs a little bit of their own space. Some
Sure.
guys might be sitting up here. Some guys might be sitting at the back there, and then we have the whole another sun deck and lounge on the flybridge.
Oh, yes.
And the flybridge we haven't even been to yet, is a very sociable area because you've got
Yeah, and I like that hard cover as opposed to
Yep.
a canvas.
So we went on a boat in Annapolis, and 50-something foot boat, and I did this. I got down in the front. There's no backing plates on the hardware.
wow.
None.
And did you see down there?
Yeah.
Well, that is.
That's very well made.
I hope we got that. Yeah. No. That look. The factory has been built. Do you need a hand for this part?
No, I'm
Oh,
good.
Man,
Thank you, though.
you're stronger than I am. The factory's been building boats for 30 years. They built performance boats, the Katana, which is those two down there. The Katana catamaran it's got carbon infused parts to it. It's a very fast boat, very narrow hulls. That one down there, the one called Samurai, actually won the ARC, which is the Atlantic Rally for cruisers, with 0.0 hours on the engines. So they've taken that technology of the performance boats, where everything has to be stronger because it's under a lot more pressure, and it has to be lighter and stronger. So they've taken that whole technology and applied it to the Balis. And you know, the Bali's brand is you know, you're coming from a factory. There's 3 factories in France that are building them, and you know it's coming from a factory that has a huge depth of experience at building
high
boats.
performance cats. Yeah.
Flybridge you can access from either side, port or starboard, which is really pretty handy. You'll find when you're using your boat.
Yeah, see, this is what impressed me about that Lagoon 440 is this upper.
And
but
you
this
said,
is so much
but this
better.
is much more. You know?
Yeah, much more usable space.
And you discussed usable square footage of your boat. This is usable square footage that other boats don't have. But everyone on board could be up here. You can be suntanning, you can be around this table. You know, you could pop another cooler box here with a cushion on if you want even more people up here. But this changes everything. You've got a hard top, so you've got protection, you can enclose it, and you've got easy access to get up to your sail bag. If you
Oh my, I'm very impressed. I gotta be honest, the Bali name I wasn't real familiar with, and I'm glad he took me on board because I almost said, skip the Bali. Do you have any lagoons or something like that? But
you know, I sold leopard catamarans for 6 years.
And a leopard.
And you know, I would love to tell people, we got a forward opening door. That was our big feature.
Yeah.
You get guys on this boat, and you've got a forward opening door. You got a solid foredeck.
Solid.
You've got
enclosure.
the Bali door. You've got the full-size refrigerator. You've got the foam cell core. You've got flybridge. You know, there's just never-ending features of a boat that is. If you go to Europe, Bali will be like 10-1 outnumbering leopards because that's where they're made. So we're making a very big breakthrough into the US market. The boats are sailed here, you know, 7,000 miles. These boats are made to cross the ocean. But you know what's also great is you can both sit together.
Sure.
Or, you know, I just love the fact that everyone's sitting with you while you're up here. You're not just driving the boat.
You're not by yourself. You have plenty of seats.
Should I get a picture of you too? Do you want a photo?
Yeah, Bali all the way.
Okay, mate.